Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, and I am joined this week by
BC.
and
BB.
and on keyboards.
Dylan.
And back, it's been a while since we've had this awesome guy back on here, one of our major supporters, and he is from the great, we'll say the northwest of Canada, I will say, right? Because you're in Canada. So we have Rob Karhukangas. Did I get that correct?
You got that exactly right. Good
Yes.
job.
All right. From Vancouver. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
We are good. Good to have you back, Rob. And Rob and I we message probably a couple times every week and stuff. So it's good to have Rob back on the show again. And we'll go around. Rob, how's things up there with you?
Enjoying life. Been to a whole bunch of concerts. I've been to more concerts this year than I have any other year in my life. So
That's freaking awesome. I love it. I think it's the opposite for me.
The opposite for us.
The most concerts I went to, we did Monsters of Rock Cruise and we did Steve Vai. I think that's the only other one that we did. I don't know. We might have went to Penn's Peak for one or something, but I don't know. Not a whole lot. So Rob's got us whooped. However, BC, Rob will be joining us on Monsters of Rock Cruise this year.
Oh yeah.
that's right.
Awesome.
I'm so glad. Yeah.
We are going to have a freaking awesome time. BC, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Good as good.
Good as a guy can be right now.
All right, he just got out of work. We'll let him settle in a little bit. BB, how are you?
Everything's a-okay down at Wayne Street land. It's like you said the other day, I wish my lawn boy would come home and cut the grass, but I had to start that the other day, But work is crazy. Work finally blocked us out of Apple Music, so
Oh, really?
totally blocked us out.
No shit.
Yep.
Them fuckers.
Can't block. So now the only thing I can do is YouTube. Like I had to send Sonny that list. I'm like, well, I can't even get like the way it's set up. Like they even block like the Wi-Fi, like the get off the Wi-Fi to look at Apple. Like the
data.
The data is just shitty in there. Because
Really?
the building's so fucking big. And
Can't you tell them you work better with music?
I know,
Bring
right?
your Walkman.
Yeah, what works is as long as I download the music to my phone, it'll open up and play, and otherwise it will just
Right.
not do a fucking thing. I'm like,
You need to get the iPod back.
I know.
Get the Zoom.
Do they still make? Do they still make iPods?
No, I don't think they do.
Okay. Dylan, how are you? How are you, buddy?
Not bad.
Not bad. Okay.
Waiting
Well,
for
everyone's,
the gas guy. Not as long as I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't. He didn't hit the bookend of the window.
at the end,
so,
yeah. Like it's not like Plaza Cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good. Everyone's doing good here. I'm doing good. It's been between the three of us here, four of us, has been just nonstop working and extra shifts and nonsense and bullshit. So last week, Rob went to see the mighty Iron Maiden in Edmonton, right?
They came to Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver. They came.
Oh, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do I think you went to Edmonton?
Well, they went to Edmonton. I didn't.
They did. Okay. All right.
They were there.
They did I printed the set list, so they did the same set list both nights in a row. So let me read the set list, and Rob can give us a quick lowdown of it. Of course, Doctor started out with get the crowd pumped up, UFO version. Of course, they won't play the Blaze one. Caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger in a Strange Land, Writing on the Wall, Days of Future Past, The Time Machine, The Prisoner, Death of the Celts, Can I Play with Madness, Heaven Can Wait, Alexander the Great, Fear the Dark, Iron Maiden. Then for the encore, they did Hell on Earth, Trooper, Wasted Years, and then they always play that Look on the Bright Side of Life, the Monty Python song as you're going out.
From the Life of Brian.
From Life of Brian. Life of Brian. From the Life of BC. So, Rob, give us some highlights here. How'd you enjoy it? I saw a couple of your videos. You were right up front there, so that must have been awesome.
Yeah, I don't usually go in the general admission, but we went early and I got up nice close, 20 feet from the barrier. And then when Maiden started, all of a sudden I was 10 feet from them because everybody pushed ahead. It was awesome. They did Stranger in a Strange Land, one I was really looking forward to. They did The Prisoner, which I've never seen them do. So that was good to see that one. And I really thought the Senjutsu songs really turned out well. Favorites on there are Time Machine and Hell on Earth, and they were just amazing live. Eddie came out 3 times. I could go on and on and on.
Awesome, yeah. But I'm shocked. They played. I want to say they played maybe 2 shows in the States. They just did the Power Trip Festival this last weekend, and
Yeah.
I looked that up. Same set list as well, but I don't know. So, but today they put out a video. Iron Maiden, what's coming up? It was like a 2-minute and 30-second thing, and they did the same thing in 2019 because the one roadie's there. He's like, "Hey, here's what we're doing, where we're going next," and then he says, "Hey, Colin," to the one guitar tech. He goes, "Didn't we do this before?" And then they flash back to another one, and it shows Eddie with the Somewhere in Time, and then it goes back and they talk to Nico, and then he's like, "I don't know, what are we doing?" So he looks in this thing, and it had this arrow thing. And then it showed Eddie again at the end going out on stage, but he had remember when they did the that live album, that one in Mexico City, that Day of the Dead one, I think it was. And he had that, Eddie had that hat on, they showed that, and that was the end of it. So I don't know if they're gonna do like a Mexican theme something or other, so I don't know. So it was like a kind of a mirror thing of the thing they did before. And when they did the other one too, I was scratching my head at the end of that one. But you kind of got a clue because it showed the Somewhere in Time Eddie on the earlier one, but on this one it showed that Eddie with the Mexican, because it had all the little tassels around it, and he like tipped his hat and then he went out on stage. But I don't know.
Now, did they release like a DVD with that album?
No. But so what are they going to do for next year?
Oh, next year.
Yeah, so it sounds like touring wise or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. So, but I mean, if they continue this tour, say they do this stuff in the States, that's going to be like 3 years really since Senjutsu came out, and they've been doing stuff from this one, and this will be 2 years for the Somewhere Back in Time one, or the one, their Days of Future Past, or whatever the hell it's called now. So it'll be interesting to see what they have coming down the pike there.
Well, it might be even longer because Bruce is doing solo tour down in South America in 2024. So you never know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He's got an album coming out next year. Looking forward to that he's been working on for a long time, I guess.
You know who else is coming out with an album?
Who?
Judas Priest.
Yeah, they announced that at the Power Trip. That's cool that I'm sure it's not named after that band. But,
It is not named after that band,
but it is cool that that's the name of it. And I was just gonna talk about that. The Power Trip Festival was this week, and the headliners, it was supposed to be Maiden, Guns N' Roses, and Metallica, and Ozzy, but Ozzy backed out, and then Priest played. So
Guns got cut off by curfew.
And AC/DC, I mean, and AC/DC. Maiden played. They did the same set list as they've been doing on the tour, the one that Rob saw. And Priest played, and they, as Dylan said, they announced that they have a new album coming out. It's called the Invincible Shield. And they showed the cover art. And actually, this Friday, they're supposed to release the first song from it, which is going to be cool. Mm-hmm. And the reviews of Priest playing were absolutely fantastic. I read them. Their set list was, they always come out, the song before they come on, they play War Pigs. And they did the Hellion, but apparently when they were playing the Hellion, that's when they showed the ad for the new album. And then, of course, Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Heading Out to the Highway, Lightning Strike, Diamonds and Rust, The Sentinel, Touch of Evil, Turbo Lover, Firepower, Desert Plains, Rapid Fire, BC's favorite, what? The Green Manalishi with the 2-prong crown. And another thing coming, Painkiller went off, come back for the encore. Hellbent for Leather, they did Metal Gods. Glenn Tipton came out for Metal Gods, and he came out for Breaking the Law. And then they did Living After Midnight with Glenn as well at the end. And then they did their walkout thing was they did "We Are the Champions" from Queen. So it was cool to hear that Priest is out there and they're gearing up. So hopefully we'll get to see them on tour. Hopefully not the first night of the tour. Like the last time was like we were like the 5th show, so that wasn't bad. They had a couple shows under their belt.
KK is probably really pissed off that they immediately stole the thunder out of
his new album coming out. Yeah, I know. Poor KK. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that. AC/DC played their first show since 2016, and cool set list. And it was as Brad Rustoven pointed out to me too. It's kind of the set list they were working with when Axl Rose sang with them. So they opened up with "If You Want Blood, You Got It." First time as a show opener. Then Back in Black, Demon Fire, its live debut.
Good
Shot
song.
Down in Flames. What?
Good song.
That is a good song. Thunderstruck, Have a Drink on Me, Hell's Bells, Shot in the Dark, Stiff Upper Lip, first time since 2003. Shot in the Dark was the first time it was ever played live. Then Dirty Deeds, Shoot the Thrill, Sin City, Giving the Dog a Bone. That's a deep one. Rock and Roll Train, You Shook Me All Night Long. Yeah. Dog Eat Dog, first time with Brian since 2009. High Voltage, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, another good one. Riff Raff, first time with Brian in the band. Highway to Hell, Whole Lotta Rosie. Let There Be Rock with an Angus guitar solo. And I guess the solo he had that stage went up with the clear plexiglass thing, and he did a solo up on that where he like scribbles around on the ground and shit. Then they went off. They came back. They did TNT, and then For Those About to Rock, of course, with the cannons and everything. So it looked cool. It looked weird seeing Angus. Did you guys see any pictures?
No.
Angus has got like pure white hair.
Wow.
He looks. Rob, have you seen any pictures of him?
I just saw the one with Brian and Angus, but I noticed the same thing. He's got white hair. It's a little bit like the Kirk Hammett hairstyle these days.
Yeah. The good point there. So it was cool to see them back. They have I don't know the guy's name. They had Phil Rudd was not drumming, and of course it was Stevie Young on rhythm guitar, Cliff Williams on bass, and a young guy drummed. Dylan's going to look him up so we can get his name. And he was solid. I watched a couple videos, and it's some of it sounded like shit, but it's from a phone in a crowd with 50,000 fucking people. But it looked good. They were the Angus was the now he wasn't the 1977 Angus by no stretch of the imagination, but he was still doing the Chuck Berry thing that he does and all that shit. So he's pretty spry for a 70-some-year-old dude. And then who else we got? Metallica played their headlining set.
Matt Laug.
Matt Laug was the drummer for AC/DC, so I just want to throw him in there too. And Metallica, and it was probably weird for them doing a show now that it wasn't in the round because they just had the regular stage at the Power Trip. So they did. Their come out song was "It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll." Then
I love the, I love the kind of because like technically Judas Priest came out to Ozzy was supposed to play, and Metallica coming out with AC. It's almost like they're paying homage to each other. That's kind of cool.
And then they still did Ecstasy of Gold. So the set proper was Whiplash, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Inner Sandman, Lux Eterna, Gone Too Far, followed by Funk in the Something, Fade to Black, Fuel, Orion, Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True, The Day That Never Comes, Hardwired, Seek and Destroy, One, and Master of Puppets they closed the show with. Decent set list. I think it was cool. I would have rather see like Moth to a Flame rather than Hardwired, but
We're so fucked.
they're shit out of luck.
Well, I mean, they have to play a shorter song because they don't want to get cut off by curfew like Guns N' Roses did.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, Guns N' Roses got cut off by curfew. They had to shorten their set.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Axl didn't throw a fucking tantrum and
I guess
walk
not.
off the stage?
He was only
He's evolved, baby.
he was only I think 15 minutes late starting the set.
Hey, that's a lot
Which
better than.
that's within the realm of
Yeah, but that's
okay.
unusual because he's been on time.
Yeah.
That's probably in his contract for Duff and
I think it's 20
Slash
minutes
to be there.
you could leave when the professor hasn't shown up.
Yeah, right.
Oh, is that a rule? Is that a bylaw? What's a bylaw? And one more concert thing. Kiss played their final show in Australia, and some shit band named Weezer opened up for them.
Yeah.
I heard they sucked ass. Whoever said that, I believe them. They did play Strutter, I guess. Weezer.
Better than Kiss did.
Rivers Cuomo Rivers Cuomo is a huge Kiss fan. So
Yeah, I know they say Ace and Gene or Paul or something in one of their songs.
Ace and Peter in
Whatever.
the garage.
Yeah, more Weezer coming up, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Very
Kiss's fresh set list, they really shook things up when they went to Australia. Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin was the come out song. Then Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Deuce, War Machine, Heaven's on Fire, I Love It Loud. Gene breathes fire during I Love It Loud. What the fuck is that?
Loud.
Stupid.
One here, loud.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's got to be like War Machine. I'd rather love it. I'd rather even see him do it during Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah.
At least there's fire in the fucking title. And then BB's favorite, Say Yeah.
Say yeah.
Cold Gin, Tommy Thayer guitar solo, Lick It Up with a snippet of Who's Won't Get Fooled Again. Boy, that's rare that they threw that in there. Calling Dr. Love, Making Love, preceded by Paul and Tommy dueling guitars, BB.
Whoa.
How about that?
Well, no, that's a misnomer. They're just actually hitting each other.
Hitting
with
each other's
guitars.
guitars. Psycho Circus, partial of Psycho Circus, the first two verses they did, then a drum solo,
Oh,
then 100,000 Years.
that's weird.
So you do Psycho Circus, have a drum solo after two verses of it, and then you do 100,000 Years.
They couldn't remember the last two verses.
Okay,
Drum solo.
my lightning is hitting my brain, and then you get a bass solo.
Well, you gotta have the bass
100,000
solo.
years. What the fuck are they doing? And this is the first time I read through this. Then God of Thunder. Okay, well I can see that. Okay, but like that's just weird. Then Love Gun. Paul flies out to the stage. Say my name, BC. Say my name. Coming out there. If you don't say my name, I'm not coming out to see ya. So he goes out for Love Gun, and then he comes, and then they start Black Diamond, and he comes back. Then they go off. They come out with Eric actually playing the piano for Beth.
Come on.
No, that's all lies. He's just doing his usual thing. But apparently some dude rushed the stage during that.
Nope.
So
And the music kept
and the
playing.
music kept playing, I guess. It's just I don't know. He fucking
He
Eric
beat the
is just
shit out of
amazing.
Eric, and the music was still playing.
An amazing piano player. But they did Shandy, which is
Well,
a
'cause they're
terrible
in
song, but at
Australia.
least they did something different. Yeah.
That was like
Then-
the number one song
yeah.
for them down there, right? Yeah.
So then they did I Was Made for Loving You, and then ended up with Rock and Roll Night, and then God Gave Rock and Roll to You 2 as everyone's walking out. So you see, they're really shaking shit up, man. Come on, two verses of Psycho Circus and fired during I Love It Loud, then a drum solo after or before 100,000 Years. Come on, man, they're fucking mixing it up, bitch.
And they canceled the Dubai show, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dubai show was canceled. So anyone that has the DVDs and shirts, they were going to pick them up when they went over there and bring them back with them. But apparently they can't do that now because the show's canceled.
Yeah. That's why they canceled it, because
So
the
BC,
shirts and
you're still not
DVDs
getting-
weren't ready.
You're still not getting your shit, BC.
God damn it.
But like, that's a whole other conversation. Rob, what's your thoughts on the freshness of the Kiss set?
I like that Making Love is there. That's kind of a new one. Sounds like they're making a half-assed effort to change something. I agree with you. They shouldn't be breathing fire in I Love It Loud. The other songs too. They should Firehouse. That's what they should do.
Yeah, I mean,
With the olden
absolutely.
days. Yeah.
See, but you don't have the sing along factor of hey, yeah, in Firehouse.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, that's what we're gonna be. That's probably the exact same thing we're gonna be seeing in
You're not
December.
gonna see Shandy.
Well, besides Shandy, which that doesn't break my heart either because that song blows.
You'll get to see an extended version of Psycho Circus.
You'll get the whole song.
Yeah, you'll get the other two verses.
Yeah. And Kiss, please say no to say yeah. All right. Just say no. All right. So I think that's everything I have written down here. I think so. Yeah. So what are we listening to? BB, how about you? What do you got going?
Two albums that came out on September 29th I'm really digging. The Blackstone Cherry, of course, Screaming at the Sky. A lot better than their last one. I think this is a little bit more heavier. And that Dino Jalusic, I can never say his name right. Look at me. He he does a solo album that also came out on the 29th of September. Follow the Blind Man. Some of that stuff is heavy as fuck. Some of it is a little bit more lighter. It's a great flowing album, but the album is also kind of all over the place. So he does a little bit of everything. So it kind of breaks my ears sometimes listening to it, but separately, like listening to separate songs in different set lists or playlists, it's really, really good.
All right. Rob, how about you? What do you got going, buddy?
Well, after the Maiden show, I kind of went on a bit of a kick. I put in A Matter of Life and Death, Senjutsu, and Book of Souls and went through them for about a week. Still in euphoria over the show. And then I've been listening to online radio called Different Stages Radio. There's a guy who used to own a metal shop in Vancouver. So he's doing this online radio thing now. It's called Different Stages Radio. He puts out a 2-3 hour episode every Tuesday, and it's all metal, but it's what's the word for it? Underrated stuff, or overlooked albums, overlooked bands, or bands that are celebrating anniversaries for certain albums and things like that. So I didn't see yesterday's, but before that had like Motorhead, Judas Priest, and then some heavier like Suicide Silence and Chapman. And he'll put in metal, he'll put in some pro. So go to their website, you can check it out, but they're also on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. So I'm kind of all over the place with my listening, so I like that variety.
All right, cool. So that Different Stages Radio, I could put that in the podcast thing, Apple Music, and it'll come up?
I don't know. I just listen on their website, but I know that on Apple Podcasts you can get it.
Okay, I'll have to look for that. Different Stages Radio. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, the Maiden ones, but they skipped over Book of Souls, didn't they?
Yeah, nothing from Book of Souls.
Yeah, nothing from Book of Souls. Nothing from Killers. Wow, cool though.
Well, 10 songs were from 2 albums, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. And they only did 15 songs, so they but that's what they said they were going to do. They were going to focus on those 2 albums. So and they did it. So I'm not heartbroken about it. Dylan, how about you? What do you got?
I was checking out a Spotify playlist called Headbanger Halloween. It has a bunch of kind of spooky themed songs and good variety, some stuff that is relevant for the podcast and some stuff that is definitely not relevant for the podcast. But I like it all, and it helps me get into the season.
You always hated Halloween, though.
I used to hate Halloween, but then I started taking anxiety medication, and my fears were able to be managed, and I can handle things a lot better now.
All right. That must be from me lurking around corners and scaring the shit out of Dylan all the time when he was a kid.
My nerves were shot, and I needed help.
I'll still do that once in a while. BC, what do you got going, buddy?
I've been checking out the Seven Dust. They're coming out with just re-releasing their catalog on CD and vinyl. So that got me back into the old Seven Dust boys. And I went back and tried their Heaven's Edge again.
The new one?
Yeah, all right. It is what you expect, right?
Yeah, I think there's a little too many slow tunes on it, though. I think maybe
a little bit.
I think it's a little,
but, hey,
less.
They're not 20 years old anymore. You got to look at it that way.
Well, they should be angrier then. They should have more aggressive music.
They don't.
I know. We can only hope. All right, and for me, I've been delving into the new Joe Bonamassa album, the Blues Deluxe 2. Very good album. And I had a little Styx rock block the other day. The first 3 albums I listened to, Styx 1, Styx 2, and I think Serpent, I think, is the third one. A lot of interesting stuff on there. Some stuff is like, who the fuck is this? But there's a couple of glimpses of what you have to come down the road in those first couple albums. And then I just got to where I'm like, okay, I gotta get away from that. So I did the new KK's Priest, threw that one in. And actually, I put in the... I picked up on vinyl the Black Sabbath TYR album. Holy shit, I forgot how much I like that album. There is some good stuff on there. So if you can check that out with Tony Martinier, of course. So that's what we got going. Joe Bonamassa, Styx, KK's Priest and Sabbath for myself. Seven Dust catalog for BC re-releases and New Heaven's Edge. Blackstone Cherry, Screaming at the Sky for BB in Jellyasic, I don't know, for BB, Jelusic, and Follow the Blind Man, which I did listen to that. That album is really good. Yeah. I enjoyed that. Dylan's got the Headbangers Halloween and on Spotify playlist. Rob is still on his Iron Maiden high with some Matter, Life, and Death, Senjutsu, and Book of Souls, and he also has Different Stages Radio that I'm definitely going to have to check that out, because that sounds kind of like a Hairball John kind of thing. So I'm going to have to check that out. So, all right. So, Rob, once again, welcome to the show, and welcome to the show. If we do Psycho Circus on the show, we will play the whole song. And with our topic today, I don't think anybody's going to have Psycho Circus on their list. I could be wrong. We haven't seen anybody's list yet. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to. I wanted to get Rob back on the show and have a kind of cool topic that was not too crazily involved to get into and do a lot of research and shit for. It's all stuff that we know and love. So I figured let's pick 6 albums that have a great opening song and a great closing song, bookend songs that make you want to just, as soon as that last song gets over with, let the album repeat and go right back on the first thing. So we did our scientific method here that we haven't done in a little while. We picked out a BC's Ops Core hat. That is not a porn company, I don't think. I think they make lenses, I think. But BB, what do you got for us? So we're doing 6 apiece, and BB will read them off. We'll go around and we'll just discuss them quick, and we'll move to the next guy. What do you got, BB?
Alrighty. We'll go back to 1970, September to be exact, with Black Sabbath Paranoid. Opens up with War Pigs and closes with Fairies Wear Boots. Pretty much 2 of my favorite old Black Sabbath songs. I've been really binging Black Sabbath lately and Ozzy on vinyl. So this was an easy pick for me for this one. Like I said, 2 of my favorite Black Sabbath albums. My next album, we're going to go to 1979 for AC/DC, Highway to Hell. And it opens up with of course, the iconic song Highway to Hell. And it closes with Night Prowler. Absolutely love Night Prowler, that slow bluesy feel. I think it was about a psycho killer, and I can't remember.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
That's it. There you go. Thank you, Dylan. And great way to start off a little Halloween spookiness with a little Night Prowler.
True.
So, 2 and number 3, back to the Ozzy catalog for The Ultimate Sin. That was released in 1986. Of course, it opens up with The Ultimate Sin, and then it closes with Shot in the Dark. I think they were both actual singles that were released in the UK. Great album. I don't think this album gets enough love. You know, it's a little slower than a lot of the other Ozzy solo albums, but still 2 great bookend songs for sure. Album number 4, I just picked up on vinyl, righty. Queensryche Empire. The dusty, smoky, clear vinyl. Really cool looking. It opens up with the song The Best I Can, and it closes with Anybody Listening. And it's funny that Best I Can was a single. Anybody Listening was released only as a video and not a single. And so album number 5, we're going to go 1991 with Van Halen with For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Both songs were released as singles. Opens up with Pound Cake, and it closes with Top of the World. Another great underrated album. Of course, I don't think that album gets enough love for the Van Halen catalog. And to close my list, album number 6, Alice in Chains from 1992 with Dirt. Opens up with Them Bones, and it closes with Wood. Great album. Alice in Chains, kind of one of those bands we don't get to talk about a lot on the podcast, but great stuff from 1992. So we'll go around the table. BC, what'd you think of my 6 albums?
Alice in Chains, baby.
Wow.
Fairies Wear Boots is another great song. That's my go-to. Old Sabbath too.
Yeah.
Love that song. What else you have there? Van Halen. Not bad. Cake ain't too bad. Queen Track, that's a great album. AC/DC Highway to Hell. Classic. Very good. Ultimate Sin, that's a no skipper album for me.
Nice. Righty, what you think, buddy?
Yeah, Sabbath, and I don't know. I'm finding it very difficult to get into old Sabbath these days. I don't know why, but I mean, actually probably like 6 times last week. I put on Ozzy's Boneyard and War Pigs was on. I don't turn on like I love the stuff, but like the deeper tracks, some of the stuff is a little difficult for me to get into. But I always say one of the best moments of us guys together was seeing Sabbath. Fairies Wear Boots, the part. Yeah! We all said, oh, it was fucking awesome. Fucking love that. Ultimate Sin, Shout in the Dark. Ultimate Sin, I don't know. I think that was a bad album opener. The song's good, but I think there was other stuff that could have opened that one good. Empire, Queensryche, I'll give it to BC. Pfft, Queensryche. We did a episode on Empire and I remember now we had a really great time doing that. And AC/DC, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. That was one of my backups, BB.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Van Halen for all not.
What is
Yeah,
it?
you said AC/DC.
Oh, AC/DC. Oh, Van Halen. I'm sorry. Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. That was one of my backups.
All right.
I like that's my favorite Hagar Sammy album.
Underrated.
It
Very
is.
underrated.
I like it. I mean, people go for 5150. I like it, but I like For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge way better than that. Alice in Chains Dirt. That's cool. That's a good BB grunge pick. And AC/DC Night Prowler, I gotta go against that one. I fucking hate Night Prowler. Fucking hate that song. Good picks, though.
All righty. Rob, what you think?
6 great albums here. So I'm one of those guys that doesn't get tired of War Pigs. I can listen to that anytime. Fairies Wear Boots, awesome song. That's another one I don't get tired of. AC/DC, Highway to Hell is great. Night Prowler, I don't think it's a terrible song.
Thanks, Rob.
But it's not a song that would make a playlist for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
That's why Rob's on the show.
So the last time I was on, we talked about Ozzy. I mentioned Ultimate Sin was probably one of my favorite albums. I think it's a very consistent album. Maybe Ultimate Sin, the song, probably not the best opener. Shot in the Dark, it was a single. It was kind of more of a commercial type song on the album, but very good. Queensryche, awesome. I'm getting more into Queensryche because of Steve's other podcast, listening to that. That Anybody Listening song, that's kind of a song that completes the journey of the album, and that's why it's a good ending song. Van Halen, that was probably my favorite Sammy Hagar album for a long, long time with the Van Halens. I'm a Dave guy. I need to put that in there.
Yes.
But 5150 is kind of catching up to that. But some great guitar work on that album. And Alice in Chains, one of the better grunge albums in my opinion.
Nice. All right, Dylan, close it up here, kid.
So the connection with Night Prowler was with Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. He was reportedly a very big AC/DC fan and considered Night Prowler to be a very good song. So, of course, everybody kind of ran with that and started blaming AC/DC for his killings. But, I think that is a good way to end that album, a very different song than the rest of the album, and I think that works in that spot. Black Sabbath, I was thinking of picking that one. I picked a different Black Sabbath album, so that'll be fun to showcase that.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you guys. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is a really fantastic Sammy Hagar, Van Halen. I almost said AC/DC. Van Halen album, and I think that those are great. Oh, but you got the
little drill song,
with
sure.
For the opening of Pound Cake. And I think Wood is such an awesome song to end that album. I love that. If I would. Like, it's just like so, such a like impactful ending, and like it's such a, there's no fade out. It's just that cut off. So good. So very good picks, I think.
Nice.
Good job, BB. I came up next in the rotation, so I'm going to start off mine with a duplicate artist that BB had. Actually, maybe this is the third time already we're talking about him.
Oh, boy.
Ozzy Osbourne's the album Diary of a Madman. Opening track, Over the Mountain, that drum in the beginning, the solo in it is fucking superb, and the title track is the last track on the song. I think not only being bookends, I think they are the two best songs on the whole album. There's a couple duds on there for me, like Tonight is terrible, Little Dolls is horrible. Those two songs absolutely suck, I think, but the rest of the album is solid. But I think Over the Mountain and Diary of a Madman, definitely the two best tracks on the album. And my next one is going to be a band that is still on my bucket list that I have not got a chance to see. They are touring again, and I hope to get to see them someday. And this is a band that I think that would be absolutely fantastic on Monsters of Rock Cruise. But sadly, they are not on there this year. So, Ugly Kid Joe, the album America's Least Wanted. Starts out with Neighbor. Fucking awesome song. Great video for the song as well. And it closes out with, where the hell am I here? I'll Keep Trying. Just a cool groove to that song. The whole album, I think, is really cool. There's a lot of great tunes on there. Goddamn Devil that Rob Halford sings on as well. Panhandle and Prince, Don't Go, so damn cool. I'll Keep Trying is a good cap on that album. And if you look at it on like Apple Music and Spotify, they give you some bonus tracks on there. They have Everything About You thrown on there, Madman and Mr. Record Man that were on the EP that when it first came out. And so that's a great album to delve into. And my next one is going to be from 1983, Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Opens up with The Kids Are Back, starts out with the ksh, 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 ksh. Real cool little grindage at the beginning there. And it ends up with the title track. Another one that ends up with the title track, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, at the end. Just a great way to end the album. That song has so much energy. This is another song that when I hear the song, I can't help but seeing the video where they're driving around London in that crappy van and the fenders are falling off and shit, and the dudes are in the back with the noise. I think it was the Noise Police. I think they were called on there. And just a fantastic album, aggressive hard rock album. One of the best that came out like in. And I'll tell you what, 83 is just a fucking amazing year for music. There's like so many great albums out that year. And I'm going to go next one to 1985 for Wasp, The Last Command. Opens up with Wild Child. Love that song. It's got such a cool, I don't know how to put it, like a cruising feel to it. Like, I don't know if it's because of the...
rockish.
Huh?
Like a 50s rockish kind of.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like, because I don't know if it's because of the video, because like they're like Blackies on the motorcycles and that shit. But then it ends up with crazy song, Sex Drive. Fucking awesome track, just aggressive. This is the part of where you get the We Are Sexual Perverts. This song fits in absolutely perfect with that. So that's another one, and that whole album is just there's not a skipper on that album. Fistful of Diamonds, Ball Crusher, Jack Action, Widowmaker, Blind in Texas. Come on, BC. There you go. That says it all right there. And I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go like a little bit further back in the alphabet towards the beginning there. I was kind of hitting the first part of the alphabet, or last part for the first part of the thing. So my next one's gonna be Damn Yankees. For 1992, Don't Tread. Opens up with Don't Tread on Me. That riff at the beginning is just Ted up the ass. Down, 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 down. And then it ends up with Uprising, just a fast rocker of a song. You can tell that they, and the both two Damn Yankees albums are absolutely fantastic albums, but you can tell the Ted in Uprising. It's got that fastness, and it's great. You got Ted, Jack Blades, Tommy Shaw, Michael Carleone on drums. Just a fantastic band. BC and I, thank God we got to see them twice. Did you see them the first time? Did you see them on the first tour with Bad Company? They played Kingston Armory. No, we did see them. We did see them on the second tour up in Binghamton with Jackal. That was a fucking awesome fucking show. So there's 5. So I got one more to go here. So let's see. I had some spares here. So all right. So I'm gonna go with this one here. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go old school on this one, BB.
Yeah.
Old school. I'm going to go to 1972, Deep Purple, Machine Head. This is an album that I think was ahead of its time. This album just absolutely freaking rocks. Opens up with Highway Star. This is like the birth. I'd say this is like the birth of like hard rock. These guys, I think. You know, between them and Zeppelin, I think Sabbath, you could definitely put the metal moniker on them. But like hard rock stuff, I would give credit to Zeppelin and Deep Purple. And then the album ends out with Space Truckin'. Absolutely killer. This album's 38 minutes long, and there's not a second to really breathe on here. The whole thing, just that Hammond, that John Lord organ sound, the Hammond organ, the Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Pace, Ian Gillan, just Roger Glover, just absolutely fucking fantastic album. So there's my 6. That was 6, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, oh shit, I forgot the main one I wanted to fucking say. Fuck. I'm gonna say it at the end. Fuck. Shit.
We already picked the fuck album. Sorry.
God damn
already
it.
Picked.
Shit. All right. Well, I'm gonna say I'll talk about that at the end. Fuck. What do you think, Dylan?
Well, I had the first Damn Yankees album as an honorable mention, so that was funny that you went for the second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they are both really good opener closers. With the Ugly Kid Joe, I'm not as familiar with the closing track, but I do. Neighbor's a classic, so you can't go wrong with that.
Check it out. It's good.
Deep Purple, of course, that's a classic album. I have a classic album on my list, but not that. Ozzy, Diary of a Madman, another great pick. I think that they are really good kind of indicators of each of the parts. And the weird thing about Wasp with Wild Child and Sex Drive, they could almost work flipped as well, because Sex Drive has that fast-paced opener, and Wild Child could be like a good closer. So I think that shows how good of a kind of a bookend duo they are.
From the guy that doesn't like Wasp.
I don't like modern Wasp. I don't like how Blackie's voice sounds now.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind early Wasp.
Okay.
Because I think
That's
it
good to know.
works for the. I think it works for the music. I agree with you. I think the chorus of Wild Child kind of has that like I want you. It's like there's almost like a 50s-ish,
like a road trip song or something.
Yeah, like a mod kind of like I don't know. I'm picturing the Who, and I don't know if that's because they covered The Real Me, but like kind of like that Quadrophenia type era stuff. But yeah, I think you had some good picks there, even though you didn't get the pick apparently that was the most important one.
If no one brings it up, I'll talk about it later. Rob, how about you, buddy?
Oh, you can't go wrong with Ozzy there. Over the Mountain, such a great starter. Diary of Madman has a bit of that epic feel to it. There's a bunch of 90s bands that I've kind of gotten tired of, but this Ugly Kid Joe album, this is one that still holds up for me today. So good pick there. Twisted Sister, I agree with you with that energy on You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Wasp, Last Command is my favorite Wasp album. So, yeah, nothing I can add to that. That's just an awesome album all the way through, I think. Wild Child is probably the song that made me a Wasp fan after seeing the video. Damn Yankees, I was also going to mention that, yeah, the first one would have worked here too with those songs. And Deep Purple, the energy of both Highway Star and Space Truckin', and those are two moving songs, like fast-paced. They could be flipped too, I think.
Yeah. BB?
Yeah, Diary of the Madman, great album. Over the Mountain and Diary of a Madman. These are just so, like to an Ozzy fan, these two songs are just so iconic, and they're not big hits, but if you're an Ozzy fan, you know these two songs. Ugly Kid Joe. Dylan, I'm in the boat with you. I know Neighbor. I'm not 100% sure with I'll keep trying. It's been a while since I listened to that album, so I'll have some homework this week. I'll have to download it on my phone so I can listen to it. Twisted Sister with You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. The Kids Are Back in the album with the song You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Two great songs. Another one of those songs that, they're not the big popular songs, but if you're a Twisted Sister fan, you know these two songs. Wasp with Last Command, Wild Child, and Sex Drive. in my mind, you can shuffle. I think there's like 9 or 10 songs. You could shuffle. You could just pick out of a hat, and I think those songs would just work in any order with that Last Command album. It's such a good album. Damn Yankees with Don't Tread on Me, and Uprising. Another great album. Very underrated band that I would love to see these guys come back and do something. And close it out with Deep Purple, Machine Head, Highway Star, and Space Truckin'. You know, they're two, pretty much number 1 and number 2 of their biggest hits, for sure. Great list, a great list.
Not Smoke on the Water?
Oh, all right, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But that's on that album too.
Yeah, that's shoved in there.
Yeah. We got BC.
Ozzy, come on. You cannot go wrong with Ozzy Osbourne. I remember playing the crap out of these albums. And then after, what year did he was supposed to come to Scranton?
I want to say 83. I want to say Bark at the Moon. I want to
Yeah,
say.
I remember listening to these albums and he's supposed to come to Scranton. It's like, oh, yes. And then
The Catholic Church canceled
Catholic
them.
Church got all getting there and canceled the show.
Bullshit. I had tickets for that too.
Diocese of Scranton, shame on you.
Diocese, damn it.
Sons of
Ugly
bitches.
Kid Joe. I mean, I've always loved these guys right from the get-go. I don't know what it was back in the day. The way they're perceived, maybe. I hurt them. I don't know.
Are you those
Guys who hate everything.
I don't know if it's the beach thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's because they have a left-handed guitar player.
BC
could
wasn't
be.
a fan of the fish in the music video.
No, that's
That's Faith No More.
That's Faith No More. Yeah,
That's Faith No More.
yeah.
abuse of fish.
He wasn't a fan of that anyway.
I wasn't a fan of that
And he was
either.
still doesn't like it.
confused.
But anything from these albums, anything from Ugly Kid Joe to this very day, I think they're getting better.
They had an album out last year. It was really good.
Twisted Sister, Can't Stop Rocker. I remember getting this and putting it in my stereo at the end of my shelf and playing the shit out of this. Love it. There's not a bad song on this album, I don't think. Wasp, come on, Spalacky. I mean, these first 3 to 4 albums are constantly being played in my house. I mean, that was my mother, but I mean, I played.
She's still playing them.
She's
She's
still
playing them
playing
right now.
Damn Yankees. Like you said, we saw these guys live. Talk about an underrated, phenomenal band. How can you go wrong with that first track?
You cannot.
Ted Nugget. And then,
Uncle Ted.
Deep Purple to close it out. I mean, all these picks are in my wheelhouse. As I'm getting older now, I'm going backwards. I'm going back to the abyss.
Regressing. We're regressing.
Regressing back into the older music. I don't know why it is. I guess I forgot to mention earlier Led Zeppelin. You asked me earlier, what are you doing, Led Zeppelin? When he came in the fires. That's Washington truck.
Listen to
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
You can't do it.
I can't. I've tried to get. I literally have tried a couple times. I can't get through Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti. I cannot get through those albums
just
in
did
one
it.
shot.
Wow.
Can't do it.
Zeppelin
Can't do it.
Shuffle.
Can't do it.
Can't
Can't do it. All right, Rob. Rob is up next. Rob's got 6 kick-ass albums for us. Now, we didn't share any of these, so I don't know if anyone has any overlaps or anything. Like I had one BB, but I picked spares. So, what do you got for us, Rob?
All right, let's hope there's 6 kick-ass ones anyway. So when I did this, I kind of had some obvious ones that I thought I'd do first, and I split it up with some obvious and what I thought was not so obvious. So the first one is the debut album from Kiss, 74. Starts off with Strutter, the song that introduces the band, and you kind of get a pretty good idea of what they're going to be, for the next 6 studio albums. Ace has a great solo on it. It's got some great hooks, and the song stays with you long after it's over. The ending song, Black Diamond, acoustic beginning. Paul yells, "Hit it," then it turns into this dramatic, epic rocker. Peter and Ace are knocking it out of the park. Another great solo from Ace. Years later, when Kiss was recording, they should have listened to Black Diamond, because Black Diamond was the best epic type sound that Kiss ever got into. For my second pick, let's go to 1986 with Master of Puppets. Starts off with battery, acoustic start, and then the electric guitars kick in and the riff starts. Nice dynamic there between the soft acoustic and the heavy. Some time changes in here, hint towards the proggy direction they'll go with on Injustice for All. And there's some great lead work from Kirk. Ends off with Disposable Heroes. Another slow start, and then it's full speed ahead. For a thrash band to be really effective, you need a good drummer, and Lars was at the top of his game back then. Kirk rips again on this song, and it's, I just can't believe that years later they would have an album that he wouldn't have any solos on. Both of these songs have kind of an epic feel, but they're actually the shortest ones on the album. The third obvious one, still going to my Iron Maiden phase here, Power Slave. Aces High, what a fast riff that starts out with. Adrian Smith and Dave Murray are so good together, whether they're doing their guitar enemies or playing off of each other. That pre-chorus part where Bruce sings running, scrambling, flying, rolling, turning, diving, really gives the impression of the mayhem you might experience in an aerial dogfight. In the chorus, Dave Murray does that little harmonic with the whammy bar in it, and I just love that part. And it ends off with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And this song gets right into it. Bruce sings really fast at the beginning. It's almost like he forgot that he has 13 and a half minutes to get it all in. At about the 5-minute mark, it really slows down to an atmospheric part with some spoken word. And I never really liked this part, but then I read it's supposed to represent of when they're adrift at sea and isolated, and, well, that kind of works, and now I like it better. The band builds the song back up, and lots of time changes in this one. It's a well-crafted prog metal masterpiece. And now for the three not-so-obvious picks. I'm going with Wasp, 2001, Unholy Terror. It starts off with Let It Roar. This is the driving type of rocker with Blackie's howling vocals that he's really good at writing. Got me into the album right away. There's an instrumental section, kind of a breakdown that's got some nice riffs, but it would have, if they had put a guitar solo in there, I think it would have been even better. The album ends with Wasted White Boys, another driving rocker. Frankie Banali's on the drums here. Again, the song has this instrumental part in the in the middle, and you think there's no solo, but after the last chorus, it goes into a 2.5 minute solo that just rips. It builds and builds and builds, comes down, then builds again. Roy Z plays the solo on here, I think. He plays on the song. And there's also underneath that you can hear another guitar line doing solos. So I don't know if that's Chris Holmes and Roy Z playing together, or is Roy doing both, but it's still a great ending for the album. Motley Crue. So they did the 94 Corabi album, which I love. Then Vince came back and did Generation Swine, which I didn't love. But after that, they released New Tattoo. And I think this is an underrated album. This one should have been bigger. It starts off with the Hell on High Heels song. Chorus has a killer hook. You can understand what Vince is singing. Mick Mars is awesome. Mick always plays solos that fits the song, and this one's no different. And then the album ends with White Punks on Dope, a cover of the Tubes. And let me preface, back in the late 70s, early 80s, I was a Tubes fan, so I liked this song. But Motley Crue took the art rock part of the song out, added in some more sleaze and a lot more grit, and it really works. Yeah, Crue's done covers before: Anarchy in the UK, Jailhouse Rock, Helter Skelter, Smoking in the Boys' Room, but I think this song really fits the Motley Crue aesthetic, as it were. And then for the last one, I was really trying to find an album that was a bad album that had really good opener and closers. And that was hard for me to do because I can usually find something I like in every album. But I decided to go with Stripers In God We Trust. It's an album that's got some overproduced, I think, keyboards. A lot of the songs have a poppy direction. Some of the songs don't hold up well, like, It's Up to You and I Believe in You and Come to the Everlife. So I don't think this album holds up as well, especially if you compare it to the last 4 or 5 albums they put out. But the opener and closers. In God We Trust starts off, it's a title track. You get a verse, you get a chorus, then Michael Sweet and Oz Fox go back and forth, trading off on solos, I don't know how many times, before it goes back to the chorus. And it's just awesome. Only has one verse, I'm okay with that. Michael has a couple good screams in the song as well. And it ends up with The Rain, which is a bit like Aces High. Starts off with a really fast riff, and it doesn't let up. Some great solos here again. Unfortunately, the first lyrics you hear are cars, mansions, and planes, and every time I hear that, I think of Steve Martin and John Candy. But other than that, I think it's a great way to end the album, and these two songs really stand out compared to the rest of the album. And that's what I got.
All right. Very cool. BB, what do you got for him?
Yeah, Kiss with Strutter and Black Diamond. This is a iconic album. You know, I'm glad somebody picked this. Some great music on that album, but definitely Open and Closer, fantastic pick on that one. Master of Puppets with Battery and Disposable Hero, 2 killer songs on that album. A great Metallica album. Iron Maiden with Power Slave, Aces High, and Raymond the Ancient Mariner. Aces High, such a great Iron Maiden song. And that Raymond the Ancient Mariner, you know, it's so long and so many chime changes, and you know that's another one of those songs that as a true Iron Maiden fan you can definitely appreciate. Wasp. See, now you're getting to my territory of like the unpopular Wasp. Unholy Terror, Let It Roar, and Wasted White Boys. Chris Holmes on this album tears it the fuck up. Fantastic album. That's a great pick. That's probably my highlight pick on your list for sure. Motley Crue, New Tattoo, Hell in High Heels, and White Punks on Dope. Another, and I'm glad you said that, Rob, how it's one of those Motley Crue albums that they don't get enough airplay, they don't get enough love. Just like the self-titled Motley Crue, you know, doesn't get enough love. I don't know if it's a time error or what, but those 2 albums are fantastic, and they don't get enough appreciation. And then Stryper and God We Trust. I love how you went with the shitty songs are in the middle, but you got some two good bookends. And in God We Trust and The Rain, fantastic. It's almost you're like the 5th person of Potter Than Hell. This is a great list.
Well, that's a compliment.
Absolutely. BC, what do you got for him?
Yeah, come on, Kiss. You're starting off with Kiss, Strutter, Black Diamond. I mean, great songs from my childhood, I guess you could say, because I was a young guy back then. First listening to all this stuff. Great. Metallica, I love Master of Puppets. I mean, Steve's giving me a dirty look now.
I'm not even looking.
Yeah, he likes.
It's not Ride the Lightning.
It's not Ride the Lightning.
It is superior.
But Metallica, come on, early Metallica. At least the first 3 albums are killer. Iron Maiden, Power Slave. This is by far one of my favorite Iron Maiden albums. Throughout the years, it's been coming up throughout the ranks. Aces. Wasp, Unholy Terror. Great pick, surprise pick, like you were saying. Unholy Terror, I mean, that was the not forgotten Wasp, but he was putting these albums out at a time when, I don't know, Wasp was not really...
Wasp was forgotten.
None of them were out there then.
No. Motley Crue, New Tattoo, again, I agree 1,000%. When this came out, I was like, damn, this is good. And it just never
Fizzled.
really fizzled out. I mean, especially after Generation. Oof. That was brutal. I was afraid to hear this album, but when I put it on, it's like, whoo, thank God.
Brandon.
I was blown away. And Stryper, and God We Trust. I think this was, I think it was too polished, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I like their sound nowadays is so much better, so much raw, like heavier. Back then, of course, it was the 80s. So, of course, they had to have the videos and all this. But I think that was too polished. But other than that, I mean, great picks.
Yeah, Rob, you started out right at the beginning of the foundation of us being here. Kiss, first Kiss album, Strutter, Black Diamond, and I still love that version of Black Diamond. I love the murky fade out. I fucking love that. Some people hate it. I think it's fucking awesome. Metallica, Master of Puppets, Battery's just, I mean, that's an album that just picks you up and just that Battery just bangs your head off the freaking sidewalk till you're bleeding and laying in blood and piss, right, BC? And then Damage Inc. at the end. That's a heavy as hell song too at the end. Like, you don't. For some reason, I think it's placed good after Orion because Orion is kind of a snoozer, I think. And then Damage Inc. just comes in and pummels you once again. And Maiden Power Slave with Aces High and Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And Maiden proved that in the last couple years that you could have Aces High as like an opener or like an encore song because I think it worked great for both. And of course, you can't get more iconic of doing Aces High than Live After Death. The opening of that is just so dynamic to listen to. And Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, and I've said it before, I kind of teared up the first time I saw them play this because I never ever thought I'd see them play it live. Wasp Unholy Terror. This came out, I think it came out in the fall of 2001, and it was a very angry album for a very angry country at that time, and the playing on it is fantastic in it. Let It Roar just kicks off the album with a friggin' screamer. Wasted White Boys, and you're right, the end of that is like, you don't think you're going to get it, but then you get the payoff at the end. Motley Crue, New Tattoo, thank you for bringing this up. This album it's not underrated, it's just not rated. I think if you went to one of these stadium shows and said, what's your opinion of New Tattoo? And they'll be thinking, what, did you get a new tattoo? What are you talking about? And they wouldn't even know that it was a fucking Motley Crue album. But I'll tell you what, this was I want to say the first Crue album that was recorded without the original band. They had Randy Castillo on drums. Tommy Lee was out, but you still had Mick Mars, Nikki Sixx, and Vince Neil. And this album was great. We saw them on this tour. Randy Castillo unfortunately passed away after that, so Samantha Maloney from Hole played drums on that tour. We saw that tour. It's fucking awesome. Hell on High Heels is great. White Punks on Dope is great. That is just a song I think would be great for just 100 people to come on stage and sing that chorus at the end would be fucking awesome. And Stryper, In God We Trust. You know, when you were describing this and I'm thinking back to the album, I'm like, okay, I think this is what a Vegemite sandwich would taste like. You have the In God We Trust, and then the rain or the bread, and the Vegemite is in the middle that is total shit. So at least the bread tastes good. So I think that's kind of what I equated to there. So fun picks, and I enjoyed them.
Well,
I should say that I like the In God We Trust album, but it just, doesn't hold up.
Those two songs are that much better.
I don't know how I'm supposed to top the Vegemite sandwich metaphor that you gave there. But, yeah, I all of the picks except Wasp and Stryper I'm familiar with, and I very much appreciate them. New Tattoo was actually on my short list, funnily enough.
Oh, really?
Because I think that those are really good sandwich songs for that album. I have nothing negative to say about any of your picks, and I think they're great. Master Puppets, obviously my favorite Metallica album. So Damage Incorporated is such a good, fast closer, and they kind of tried to copy that formula with My Apocalypse on Death Magnetic, and I think it works. I think ending off like an album that is so kind of long in the tooth with some of the songs, like the title track's 9 minutes long, and ending with starting and ending with the fastest songs, I think, is the best way to do it, because you get the lengthy stuff in the middle, and then you're opening and closing with the short stacks.
Yeah, if they knocked off the thing that should not be, it'd be a better album.
That's a great song.
No, anyway,
it is.
It's better than Escape.
Escape's awesome. All right. And actually, it worked out good because Rob was the first or the last one to go out in this first segment. So we got BB's list, we got my list, Rob's list, and Rob is going to intro our gem song. So Rob and I were going back and forth this week. He gave me a couple ones, and this is what we came up with. What do you got, Rob?
All right. So I'm not a big fan of The Darkness, but at some point in the career of The Darkness, the singer left. I guess it was about 98. So the rest of the band formed this band called The Stone Gods. And they had the bass player became the singer. They brought in another guy to do bass. They've only put out one album, Silver Spoons and Broken Bones. I think there's some great stuff on the album. A little bit of an uneven album, though. But this song is called Don't Drink the Water.
All right, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed "Don't Drink the Water" by Stone Gods. I thought it was a cool song. The guitar playing it is great, and I like it the best because I didn't know that it was the Darkness. I hate them, so I like it now. Now I like these guys better than them. I know I hate that.
If you
fucking
take the
hate
vocals
that.
out of it,
Some of the music is cranky, but I can't do that. It just fucking kills me. And they're going to be on the. Rob, they're going to be on the Monsters of Rock cruise, The Darkness.
All right.
I'll be in the bar.
I'll see who else is playing.
Yeah. Oh, someone else will be playing that's better, I'm sure. People love them, though. If you like them, hey, more power to you. All right, so we're going to forego the gems this week. So, Dylan, you got your list. What do you got?
Yes, I tried to go a little off the beaten path with some of my picks. I wanted to kind of look around for bands that I haven't talked about in a while, and I didn't do as good a job as I wished. But, it happens. It happens. So the first one that I wanted to bring up was Great White's Once Bitten album. Open up with Lady Red Light, which is a fantastic opener, and closes with Save Your Love, which I think is a great ballad and a really good way to close that album off. Two kind of hit songs that, buoy the band. That's all about kind of bluesy stuff. I think Save All Your Love just Save Your Love is a great, Jack Russell's vocals on there are fantastic. So that's how you close an album. Next pick that I had was Rush's debut album, self-titled. Opens up with Finding My Way, that was, in honor of Rob coming on the podcast. I wanted to put at least one Canadian band in my repertoire, and ending with Working Man, which was the first Rush song that I fell in love with. So, two great openers. That album's also just a very good album front to back. I think they're all just like very classic 70s hard rock songs that still work really well, and especially if you're not into kind of where Rush went, I think it's a very good, straightforward 70s hard rock album, and those are two great songs to open it up. Then I go to Scorpions with Love Drive, Loving You Sunday Morning to open up, and then closing with Holiday. I don't know what it is about me and the ballads ending an album, but I think that they are good ballads to end the album. Holiday does have the good kick into it that kind of rocks up the song a little bit, but I think it's a very good way to end such a great album. And Loving You Sunday Morning I think is a great simple opener to bring us into Love Drive. So number 4, my Black Sabbath pick. And actually, BB, you did inspire this pick, Dehumanizer.
Yeah.
You're the one that kind of brought this to my attention. And opening up with Computer God and Buried Alive. And they're kind of slower openers and closers on this album, but I think they really work for this era of Black Sabbath because it's a heavy metal Black Sabbath. The riffs in Buried Alive are some of the heaviest that Tony Iommi comes out with. And his solos on both of these songs are just fantastic. I'm surprised that Buried Alive wasn't as well regarded as like Time Machine or Computer God, but I think it's a great way to close out the album, and a song that I didn't really register on until I was looking through some of the artists, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll like, and then I ended up really liking it. My penultimate pick is from Alice Cooper off the Constrictor album. And this is just a fun pick for me because it opens up with Teenage Frankenstein and then it ends with He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. I love the keyboards on this album, especially in the Man Behind the Mask. It's just so cheesy 80s. I don't know what it is about bands that when they do a tie-in song for a horror movie, they have that song be the last on the album because Dokken had Dream Warriors be the last song on that album. But He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, I think is a great song from, I think, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which is one of the best Friday movies. And Teenage Frankenstein is just a fun, I spent my whole life burning, turning. Just like a fun intro. Used to be my ringtone back in the day. Great song. And my last pick, this one was for you, Dad. Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak. Opens up with the title track, Jailbreak, iconic with the... just a fantastic way to open up an album. Every song called Jailbreak is just a masterpiece, and this one is no exception. And then it ends off with Emerald, which the dual guitar action on this song is just iconic. You cannot beat it. Two of the top songs from the band, and even on this album, The Boys Are Back in Town is on this album. So it's kind of like this is my Deep Purple pick, Dad, the Thin Lizzy. So those are my picks. What'd you think of them, Dad?
All right, Great White, Once Bitten. Lady Red Light is great. I love how it ends. It begins and it ends with the... I love that. Save Your Love. That's one of the few ballads I really, really like. Remember he did that when we saw them down at that... I think it was the one in Luzerne, right? Where you were in
the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, where you were in the fight with the girl for the drumstick for 3 hours.
That bitch.
Yeah. And like he put the mic like to me in BC. We fucking sang that with him. Rush, self-titled, Finding My Way, great. And you're right, it is a great hard rock album, like as opposed to what you get from Rush down the line. Working Man, that time change in that is just friggin' fantastic. Scorpions, Love Drive. I just listened to this on vinyl the other day. Loving You Sunday Morning, and that's another song that has that like that driving feel to it, like you're in the car.
Yep.
In Holiday, I like Longing for the Sun, She Will Come. I love that part. That's cool. And actually, when they did that on the Worldwide Live tour, they did that and Still Loving You, like they did it as a dual kind of thing, which was very cool. Sabbath, Dehumanizer, heavy as fuck album. You're right. Excuse me. Computer God and Buried Alive, just two killer songs, and Tony Iommi just absolutely kills it on guitar on that one. If you guys have not checked that out, if you it's like it's heavier than Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules combined, for sure. But just great stuff. I love the Dio era Sabbath stuff. Alice Cooper, Constrictor. This was the first Alice Cooper album I ever owned. Teenage Frankenstein, fun song. Even the He's Back, Man Behind the Mask on
You're
that,
with your baby,
which is cool. And Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. I just love when people cover Thin Lizzy. There's some great covers of Jailbreak out there. Emerald, there's some great covers out there of Emerald. But I don't know if I've ever listened to Emerald, the Thin Lizzy version. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever listened to that. But they're a band and I love that live. Oh no, I did because it's on that live album.
Yeah,
but
it
the
was on
studio version,
Live
I don't
in
think
Ages.
I've ever heard though. But and I do love that Thin Lizzy that live album. But cool picks. I'm glad you did some new school, some old school, some mid school. Good job.
Yeah. Rob, what'd you think?
There's some great picks here. Great White, when I was looking for my list, there's a lot of albums that I discarded because I didn't want to end on a ballad. But this one, it works. It works for me. I don't know why I didn't consider it. I appreciate the throwing in a Canadian band. And this album was actually in pretty strong consideration for my list. So you can't go wrong there. Scorpions, Loving You Sunday Morning, Holiday. Pretty good songs there. When I was a younger man there, listening to the radio when Loving You Sunday Morning came on, that's the song that made me a Scorpions fan. Black Sabbath, yes, those are some slow riffs there, but man, it's heavy. This is Doom Sabbath, and they're one of the best originators of Doom, actually. Alice Cooper, Teenage Frankenstein, and Man Behind the Mask, those are my two favorite songs on that album, so you can't go wrong there. Thin Lizzy, I was listening to some of your guys' podcasts from earlier, and just this week, Steve, you were listening to that live album you were talking about, saying, yeah, Thin Lizzy's not so bad. You brought up the Black Star Riders and stuff, so yeah, cool to bring that. 6 great albums, Dylan. Good job.
Thank you.
You mean, Rob, you didn't like Thrill My Gorilla better than these two songs?
Thrill My Gorilla? BC, what'd you think?
Great White, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Love Lady Red Light. That's like probably in my top 5 Great White songs. And Save Your Love. It's weird when a band finishes off on a ballad, but there's not too many ballads I would. There's like this one,
Sometimes it fits.
This one and Alone Again are ones that come on. I don't skip. I just let play because they're good songs. Because even if they're slow, Rush. I mean, come on, it's Rush. Get it, and his cousin Buddy Lee. But Working Man is just such an iconic song, and for me, even back before I really even remotely listened to Rush, I remember hearing Scorpions. This takes me way back to Loving You Sunday Morning. Way back, I don't even think I was driving yet. Oh no, it's a guy and he listened to nothing but the Scorpions. And Loving You Sunday Morning, in a holiday, he always played that song. I was like,
can we stop listening to this song?
I need a holiday
take you
from
far
holiday.
away. I'm like, and like another stuff. But every time I was in the truck, holiday was always on. It's like I don't know what kind of.
He's just got PSTD from holiday.
Not holiday again.
PTSD. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Scorpions, early Scorpions, that takes me back. Black Sabbath, to me this is. I think somebody said metal. Sabbath. I don't know if.
Doom metal.
Doom metal. I mean, this is just such a classic album in my book. Alice Cooper, Constrictor. I mean, Teenage Frankenstein. I probably the last 15 years really got into this album. Back when it was out, again, that time when it came out, there was so much out. This got lost in the shuffle. Then Lizzie, Jailbreak. I love the song Jailbreak. I love because there's so many bands that do it. Jailhouse. Do Jailbreak. Emerald, I'm with Steve. I don't think I've ever heard.
I don't think you've ever heard the
Then
studio.
Lizzie do it.
It's good.
Well, we did the live album, so you've heard it there.
I heard it there.
But I don't think I've ever heard the studio
I've
version.
never heard the studio
No.
version.
Well, you know what? I'll have to pick that out
Yeah.
for my birthday.
Pick Jailbreak
Right.
for your birthday.
Then we'll listen to the fucking.
Hey, I'd
we'll
be
listen to
happy
the whole
with that.
fucking thing.
But it's 6 great picks. I mean, I got a little nervous when you said you were going to dig deep. So I was like, he's
I'm
going to dig
thinking
deep.
we're not
Holy
gonna
shit.
we're not gonna know like 4 of these albums.
No, I tried to pick albums that you would be familiar with.
Weezer, the Pink album.
They don't have a Pink album.
No, they should.
BB, what'd you think?
All right, Great White, Once Bitten, Twice Shy, Lady Red Light, and Save Your Love. I absolutely love this album, front to back, no skippers for me. This is right in my wheelhouse. Love these guys, love their bluesy sound. I love all their ballads. I love everything about Great White. They could do a whole fucking album of ballads, and I would buy the vinyl, the CD, the shirt,
As long
the
as it's
cassette.
Jack Russell singing.
Yeah.
And not Mitch Malone.
Well, Terry Lewis is
Lewis is okay.
If they do it with him, I think I'd do it too. But yeah, great album there. Rush, Finding My Way, and Working Man, 2 great Rush songs. And to be on their debut album, it's just fucking crazy. Scorpions, Love Drive, Loving You Sunday Morning, and Holiday, another great album. Like, I didn't even think of these guys to even pick something like that. I'm glad you showcased these guys because it definitely works in this bookends for sure. Black Sabbath, Dehumanizer. I'll do the BC for Dehumanizer.
That was a birthday album for you, wasn't it? Was it a birthday
It was.
album? Or
It was.
something- I know you picked it at one
Yeah.
point.
That's just a great rocking album. Alice Cooper. I'm not familiar with this. You know me and Alice Cooper. I'm sure if I heard these songs, I may know them, but to actually, say anything about them would do the album disjustice. But Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, and Emerald, great way to end your list. Definitely know these 2 songs. Definitely love these 2 songs. Love that whole album. I don't know what's wrong with you 2 guys. Check out that Emerald song, for the love of God.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing it.
Whether we want to or not.
Yeah, definitely a good list, and I apologize for the Mr. Cooper.
That's okay.
All right, BC.
BC.
BC's got 87 albums to go through.
The wow factor. We're gonna know one of them.
I got 35
You
albums.
guys will know one. You guys will know one of them. I'll know 2.
No, come on. I'm not that bad. I guess, what I've been telling you, I've been going backwards.
All right.
You're not going to find too much new stuff on this list.
Uh-oh.
So I had to
I
reach
don't think anybody did.
I had to reach in the hat and narrow it down to 6.
One of my runners up was, but we haven't got to that yet. So.
Oh, I got tons of runners up. All right, I'm going to go old school back to 1986. Bon Jovi, Slippery and Wet. Opening it up with Let It Rock. You got that big organ opening up. I love that.
That's cool.
That's very modern and Deep Purple. And then close out with Wild in the Streets. I think that's you start off and then rocking song to close out the album. To me, that was a standout back in the day. I'm going to get a little bit modern, like within the last 30 years. my second pick's going to be Cold Sweat from 1990 with their self-titled album.
No, it's Breakout.
Oh, Breakout, I'm sorry. Starts off with 4 on the floor. Start your, and it gets that build up and guitars on this are just phenomenal. And then again, that whole album's great. And finishes off with I Just Want to Make Love to You.
Yeah.
And then the solo and then that. This song, I mean, it's the time frame when this came out, this album and band should have been so much bigger. But we got to see him
Twice.
Alrighty, third pick. Let's go even a little modern. 1993 with Every Mother's Nightmare, Wake Up Screaming. They open up with that House of Pain, which starts off a little mellow and kicks in. And then they finish off this great album with Crying Shame with the double bass and just rip it up. Another fast-paced rock. Can't go wrong with it. Every Mother's Nightmare. My fourth pick. Going back to 1984 with Lita Ford, Dancing on the Edge. Opening up with Gotta Let Go. That's one of my all-time go-to Lita Ford songs. And it finishes off with a rockin' tune, Run With the Money. Just the drums and everything in that. I love the bass line. I mean, classic. I think that was number 4, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 5. 1992, Roxy Blue, Want Some. Open it up with Too Hot to Handle. Good rockin', great solos in it. And then at the end of the album, they close out with Main Attraction. Just a grinding rockin' in the build up right before that ripping solo. You can't go wrong with this. Where am I now? Let's see. This would be my 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, one more.
Yep.
I flipped it up and then looked into all these albums a few times, but I'm going to go with 1990's Heaven's Edge, self-titled. With the opening track, Play Dirty. A groove rocker there to get the album going, and then they finish up with a fast. I'm a lover of the fast ending songs on the albums. Don't Stop, Don't Go. I mean, another band again came out the same time as Cold Sweat. Just bad timing. Bad timing. But that's 6 songs that I can love. BB.
Yeah, Bon Jovi, Slippery and When Wet, Let It Rock, and Wild in the Streets. Man, just being like in that era, this album was played to fucking death all over the place. But at least I think Let It Rock and Wild in the Streets were, good enough not to be played to death, for sure. Cold Sweat would break out 4 on the floor, and I Just Want to Make Love to You. Another classic BC album. Great stuff. Great guitar playing on that album. Great melodic sound that Cold Sweat has. Every Mother's Nightmare, House of Pain, and Crying Shame. Another great, deep album that I really have to start listening to more for sure. Lita Ford, Gotta Let It Go, and Running with the Money. I love Lita Ford. There's not a bad album that she has released. Gotta Let It Go is definitely one of those classic songs that she still does today. Roxy Blue, Too Hot to Handle, and Main Attraction. Another deep BC pick. Some really good stuff on that album. And of course you highlight this one with the Heaven's Edge, a fantastic album with Play Dirty and Don't Stop, Don't Go. Philly's own, great stuff. Definitely a better album than their newer album. But deep albums, but a good list, BC.
You think, Dylan?
Yeah, I could talk about Bon Jovi. Great opener, great closer. I think Let It Rock is a very good kind of ease into the album. It has that sing-along factor to it that I think is always much loved when Bon Jovi does it. And Wild in the Streets, I think, is a nice triumphant ending. I love the background vocals in the chorus. I think that they kick ass. Cold Sweat. I love that you picked that Thin Lizzy song. It's a great. No, but I do know the Cold Sweat because I think we covered it on the podcast. Those are definitely two songs that I remember. So that's a good sign that they're good. I know the Lita Ford. You Gotta Let It Go. I do know that one. That is a fantastic Lita Ford song. Another great catchy chorus. And everything else, I trust you.
You never heard Roxy Blue?
I've heard Roxy Blue, but
I know he's heard it, but
I like it.
Yeah.
Do you know how much music I've heard over the course of my 27 years?
Dylan has absolutely heard all of these.
Yeah, I've heard all of them. I just don't remember them.
BC, next time we do a list, you better share yours.
Yeah, share,
At least with Dylan.
Share them with me so that I get prepared and have comments on yours.
See, we're on opposite spectrums here. He's got the newer stuff that I never heard of, and I got the older stuff he's never heard of.
Yep.
Steve.
That's why it's a perfect combination here.
All right. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, absolute desert island album for me. Let It Rock, and I'm so happy that keyboard part in the beginning is not its own fucking track. I would lose my shit because it fits perfect that it's the song. Absolutely love that song. Wild in the Streets, great up-tempo, more of a let loose song. You know what I mean? They're wild in the streets, BC. Come on now. Cold Sweat Breakout, another desert island album for me. This album just rocks front to back, and it's funny. Even if you listen to this on Apple Music and I listened to it on vinyl, I wanted to see if it was the same thing. It's so much fucking louder than everything else. If I play Slippery When Wet, and it could even be like the remaster one, play that on my turntable, and it sounds like at one certain level, and you put Cold Sweat on it and don't turn it up, it's so much louder. And it's the same thing on at least Apple Music. Four on the Floor starts out with the motor friggin' the tires peeling out, ends with I Just Want to Make Love to You. It's an old blues song, but made more famous, modernly famous by Foghat, doing it on Foghat Live. Fucking excellent. Every Mother's Nightmare, Wake Up Screaming. Excuse me. Killer album. House of Pain. When that kicks in, it's great. Crying Shame, fucking fantastic. Lita Ford from Dancing on the Edge, Gotta Let Go. Love that. The video's great. She's cleaning the house. Oh my God. Run with the Money, and it's cool. The track listing on that, it's Run with it, and it has $sign on the album. Roxy Blue, Too Hot to Hand, or it's Roxy Blue. Want some. Another album that there's I don't think there's a skipper on this album for me either. There's like one slower song, but it's good. But opens up a Too Hot to Handle, fantastic song. And they even, and another band that I like when other people do their shit, The Who. They do Squeezebox on there. It's fucking fantastic on there. Main Attraction, killer, up-tempo, double bass drum track to end the album out. Heaven's Edge, Play Dirty. Got to see these guys as well on Monsters of Rock Cruise. They were on two of the cruises I think we were on as well. Play Dirty, Don't Stop, Don't Go. Friggin' fantastic. Great. Good job, BC. I'm glad you went last.
Alrighty. Rob, take us home.
It's going to be a short trip. So my greatest fear was that people were going to pick albums that I didn't know. And the two people I was worried most about was BC and Dylan. Dylan took it easy on me, so thanks for that. But let me do my best, So Bon Jovi, never heard of them. That was a bad joke.
They're from Jersey.
This album I don't put in much anymore because of the ear burn of the hits. But yeah, Let It Rock. I love the Deep Purple like Keyboard at the beginning, great chorus. Wild in the Streets, great way to end the album. Cold Sweat, other than you guys talking about it, I've never heard this album. Same with Every Mother's Nightmare. I don't know, because I'm on the West Coast or in Canada, or maybe I'm out of touch. I do have a couple of Lita Ford albums. This is not one of them. Roxy Blue, another band that I've heard you guys talk about that I need to check out. Heaven's Edge, I don't know how many albums they have, but yeah, picked one that I have. So
Yes.
Thank God for that. Yeah, like you said, good, energetic songs, both of them. Yeah, I'd like to say it was a good list. I'm sure it was.
You got some homework now.
All right. Everybody
right.
went, right?
Yep.
All right. This was awesome doing this. I'm glad we can get Rob back on the show. And Rob, hopefully it won't be as long between times when we get you on. And always blessed to have Rob on here. And Rob, thank you for your support over the years. It's awesome. And like I said, Rob and I we're messaging back and forth like a couple times a week, and it's awesome. And so we'll wrap up here. We'll go around when it's your turn, just say whatever, and then just read your albums down real quick, and we'll get out of here. Rob, the sun's probably still out where you're at, right? Is it still sunny out, or is it just getting dark?
Well, no, it's still light out. Yeah.
6:30.
Yeah.
See.
You guys are finishing early enough that I can watch the hockey game tonight. So.
Oh, there you go.
Good.
Are you a Canucks fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. He's supporting. He's representing BC. All right. BB.
Yeah, everybody had a fantastic list. Some great albums that, everybody's known and, play to death, and some other albums, maybe not so much BC. But, yeah. Rob, it's awesome having you on the show. And like Steve said, thanks for all your support over these years. And I really meant it. You're like the fifth Potter than Hellion for sure. I love how you did your homework, and there's some guests we get on here, they don't even do their homework. Rob, fucking A+ today, buddy. You definitely did your homework.
That was only one or two though.
Some hosts don't do their homework
Ooh,
either,
yeah, that's
sometimes.
true too.
They're all looking at me for some reason.
I looked right at my phone so that I wouldn't be called it.
No, like I said, everybody had a great list. Some awesome albums tonight for sure. Great episode. My albums were Black Sabbath, Paranoid, AC/DC, Highway to Hell, Ozzy, The Ultimate Sin, Alice in Chains, Dirt, Queensryche, Empire, and Van Halen for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
Did you have any backups? What were your backups if you did?
I did not have any
No?
backups.
Okay. All right.
BC took all my backups.
BC had all the backups.
Yeah.
All six of them.
I had BC had 27. He said he could lend me a couple if
got 9
he could.
backups.
That was nice of you, BC. All right, Rob, go ahead, my friend.
Well, thanks again for having me on the show. I don't know. Years ago, I wrote an Apple review, and I remember one of the things I said was the best thing about the show is that you wish you were there. And I've got the opportunity to do it twice.
Yeah.
You wish you were there to tell Steve that Woman in Love ain't that bad of a song.
Thank you.
There may be reasons to run into traffic, but that's not one of them.
If they play it on the boat, I'm going to jump off the ship.
So my list was the debut album from Kiss, Metallica's Master of Puppets, Iron Maiden's Power Slave, Unholy Terror from Wasp, Motley Crue's New Tattoo, and Stryper's In God We Trust. I did have some backups. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, Dawkins' Tooth and Nail, and Slayer's Rain and Blood. Great list by everybody. Thanks again. This was a blast. I really appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Dylan.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on, Rob, and to see your comments on Facebook. It's always great to see you, even when you're not on the podcast, contributing and adding in your takes on things. It's always great to listen to. And speaking of listening, you could listen to all of the picks that we had of our bookend songs on the Spotify playlist of the week. I did actually have some backups this episode. And for the most part, they were, like ones that I figured might be mentioned but might not, or ones that I knew were never going to be mentioned ever. Like I said, Damn Yankees, the debut album, coming of age pile driver as the bookends on that one. I had Toto 4 because you have Rosanna opening and Africa closing. Two fantastic songs. And then I had Godsmack When Legends Rise, which opens with When Legends Rise and then ends with Eye of the Storm, which is a very good, underrated Godsmack track. So those were my runners-up. But my main albums that I did pick were Great White Once Bitten, Rush's self-titled debut, Scorpions' Love Drive, Black Sabbath's Dehumanizer, Alice Cooper with Constrictor, and Thin Lizzy with Tonight There's Gonna Be a Jailbreak. Somewhere in this town. You see Steve and the boys, he don't like it. Get up and going down.
I got nothing. I was going to come back with something that I always say, that she got whatever and she sat on Johnny's face. That's in the song, right?
She slapped Johnny. That's Boys at the Back of Town.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
She walked over and she slapped Johnny's face.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that shows how much I love them. BC.
All right, Rob, good to have you on again. It's good to hear you. I mean, see your comments, but it's good to hear the voice. My God, where am I now? I had tons of extra albums I was going to choose from. I'm going to mention one. Alda Nova, Blood on the Bricks from 1991. It opens up with Blood on the Bricks, the title track. It finishes off with Bright Lights. And that song just rips it up, the guitar and
Another Canadian
guy.
Bad music all around.
You can never go wrong with some Alda Nova. But my list was Bon Jovi, Slippery and Wet, Cold Sweat, Breakout, Every Mother's Nightmare, Wake Up Screaming, Lita Ford, Dancing on the Edge, Roxy Blue with the Want Some, and The Heaven's Edge, self-titled.
All right. Yes, once again, Rob, thank you for coming on. I appreciate all your support over the years and all your comments on our stuff, and just your friendship generally, and great having you on once again. Like I said, hopefully it'll be sooner, and if not, we will absolutely be seeing you. Myself and BC will be seeing you in the end of February, beginning of March for Monsters of Rock cruise. It's going to be fucking awesome. And I can't wait to give you a cheers, have a couple beers with you, and rock out. We'll get you into some of these bands that you're not familiar with. You're gonna have a fucking blast. And this albums I did was I had Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman. I had Wasp, The Last Command. Ugly Kid Joe, America's Least Wanted. Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Damn Yankees, Don't Tread. Deep Purple, Machine Head. I have a couple ones that I had to spare. And the one I was like, why the fuck did I... This should have been my first one. And I don't know how anybody didn't pick this, especially you, BB. Van Halen, Fair Warning. Opens with Mean Street, closes with One Foot Out the Door. I'm kicking myself in the ass for not bringing that up. Oh, my God. That One Foot Out the Door just... I think it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but it just absolutely... It might even be shorter than that. Absolutely fucking rips. And... another backup I had Dio Dream Evil from 1985. That has Night People When a Woman Cries at the end. And another one, it's this guy's kind of album of the times. It came out in 86. Ted Nugent, Little Miss Dangerous. Opens up with High Heels in Motion. Closes with the song Painkiller. If you want to hear a song that rips, that is like the Little Sisters to Priest Painkiller, this song, Painkiller on Little Miss Dangerous. Double bass, friggin' killer guitars on it. Fucking fantastic. And I love doing stuff like this. It was very not labor intensive for everybody to do. It was like I said, doing this shit is just excuses for talking about the shit that we like. And always a blast having Rob there. I'm glad we got all the original Potter Than Hell guys here back in the same room once again. And BC, welcome back. BB, as always. And it's weird because like the way and it's just really our job that has everything all fucked up with the way stuff is at the firehouse right now. So it's rare to have us all in the same room, which I absolutely love. And like I said, this is what I love, being in the same room, and we can just look each other, flip each other off, and I mean you could do that on Zoom or whatever the hell, but it's not the same when you're actually there. I mean, cracking beers open for BC and handing them beers the whole time here, and it's always just you can't do that over Skype, Rob. But I will hand you a beer on the Monsters of Rock cruise for sure. So Dylan, thank you for all the work.
Thanks,
you do.
Steve.
What's that?
I was going to say thanks for the beer, but I don't drink anymore.
Oh, all right. I'll buy you a soda. Whatever you want.
I don't drink any less either, though.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking, like, I just seen you posting beer the other day. All right.
I don't drink anymore.
All right.
That's like, oh, shit.
You threw me off there. I'm like,
Ever since the Iron Maiden show, Rob doesn't drink anymore.
Yeah.
It was a rough night.
Yeah, so once again, Rob, thank you. BC, welcome back. BB, good job. Dylan, awesome. Thanks to our listeners out there. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're an old listener, welcome back. Always fun doing this. We got a lot of cool shit coming up. A lot of some of our cast of characters coming back, and always fun doing this. And go back if you're a new listener. Go back and check out some of the older stuff. We have 300 and some episodes, I think. And so we've had a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of music over the years, and a lot more to come. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will see you next time. There definitely will be a next time.